Hey, Allan. I'm shooting a video.
I see it.
Yeah. You want to say hello?
Hello, everybody.
All right. Thank you so much, Allan, for coming on my Do What You Love Mastermind.
Do what you love. Yeah.
And doing that amazing meditation. Do you remember what it's called, or should I say?
I don't remember what
Okay.
it
It was like allowing. It was like allowing and loving your inner child.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
Every time we say I'm doing this and I know I shouldn't and I should stop it and I have to do it differently and I shouldn't procrastinate and I don't know what's wrong with me and I'm stupid because I don't stop doing it.
Yeah,
when
why do I
I'm
keep
do
doing it like this? I should be doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it again. Yeah.
And this is the reason we can't figure this out and why can't I change this is because there's like 5 different parts of us all having different visions of the same story. The one that wants to procrastinate to protect the wounded child and not fail, so we don't do it, we don't fail. And see, then there's a judge inside saying you should do it that way because if you procrastinate, you're not a good enough person, nobody's going to love you. And then there's a little scared kid in there going, but I'm not good enough, and if they found out I'm not good enough, then I won't be loved.
I won't be loved,
yeah. And so I have to hire this procrastinator to keep me from making mistakes and doing things and getting judged for it.
Oh yeah,
right.
Avoid the rejection and the failure.
Exactly. Yeah, and on and on and on.
All right.
And so when we say I, we're not paying attention to which eye.
Okay.
I have something in my eye.
And that's why. Oh yeah, and that's why. It's confusing. We think it's all one eye, but it's lots of little eyes.
Exactly, and we don't know how to manage all that except guilt and self-judgment, and that just had more of the problem.
Yeah.
So the solution and what Bevan's talking about is when we did this before was to take that little child that's frightened that she or he is not good enough and give that child a big loving hug and say that's a lie.
Oh yeah.
You are good enough.
Yeah.
You are worthy of love. And when we can do that and really change the dream of that scared child from childhood that wasn't good enough, if you did that, I'd love you, but love is conditional, withdrawn, given, withdrawn because of our behavior, our emotions, and all that kind of thing. When we can tell that little child and really change the child's dream that he's okay, she's okay, just the way he or she is, then the child doesn't have to hire the strategy kids like the procrastinator and all the other ones, or the star, or the workaholic, or whatever. There's 100 different things.
Oh yeah, the super achiever.
Yeah, super
the star,
achiever.
right?
Yeah, the star.
Yep.
So when that all relaxes, then we can follow our bliss, do what we love, without the fear of having to deal with success and failure, which are all based on the outside world. Judgment.
Oh, yeah.
And if we're judging ourselves to try to get it right so we will succeed and not fail.
In other people's eyes.
In other people's eyes, so they'll love us and not reject us, when it's really a little kid inside of us from 4 years old that's afraid of that in the first place, then of course we can't do what we love.
All right. So then what do we do? Come to your workshop, or?
I just missed my 5-day Valentine workshop here in Chicala.
Yeah. But I heard good things about it.
Me too. Yeah, so that's what there is here is to do. It's just love.
Oh yeah.
To
just love.
Heal and replace the fear. But see, I can't love myself because that's 2.
Oh.
I have to love myself.
Yeah?
You can't.
Oh.
Who is the I that has to love what's my self?
So you have to merge them together? You can't be thinking of them separate?
No,
or
you say they're 2 different things, but you don't recognize they're 2 different things.
But you can do it though, right? You can, because you said you can't love yourself, but
you can say I want to love that frightened little child inside of me that is afraid that if I do this, write this book, or do this, take this job, or do whatever my passion is, I need to love that child and change the fear in that child, and then we're all free to do it.
Yeah, totally accept. Like in EFT, it's like, tapping, and then like, I feel scared, right? But that's okay, right? Because you're accepting it.
Yes, I accept it. Well, and in my work, I don't say I am scared and I accept it, because we're back to I have to love myself, and you can't do 2 things, be 2 things at once.
Oh, okay. That's the confusing.
That's the confusion that everybody gets into.
That's what mixes us up. Okay.
You don't pay attention to the language. We language in a way that we can't do what we say we should do.
Because I Because I'm not the body, I'm not even the mind, right? What are we, right? Everything.
What I is whichever one of those little parts takes over and possesses our body.
So when you are choosing, it's like, I am loving my inner child.
Yes. And then an I is usually a new part that learns to love unconditionally.
Right.
Which we don't have, because we were loved conditionally when we were brought up about love. So I introduce that to people as a cosmic kind of reality. And then the spiritual warrior says, I will love this child. And I give people teddy bears. And they hug them. It's an external thing. I am going to love this child and change that old dream of this child of fear and getting it wrong and be abandoned and rejected and not good. I am going to change that dream in this child from the past who's frozen in time inside of me like a little kid. Acting out and hiring all these other ones to try to get it okay in the world. You know, whether it's we said name some, there's also a seducer and a comic clown. Hey, everybody, look at me, I'm great, but don't look too close because you'll see I'm faking it and scared to death in the background.
And a bully.
Or a bully pushing people away. Or a wallflower sitting in the corner quiet. Doesn't try to,
don't blend in.
Don't mix.
Don't stand out.
If people find out who you are, they're going to reject you.
There's another one. Daredevil, like taking all these crazy risks, get people's attention and love.
Wow, you're so amazing. I would never do that. Well,
risking a lot.
Oh, there's 100 probably. I mean,
strategy children.
Strategy children, and the human personality is whichever strategy person in that human has taken over the body in that moment. You know the movies where the alien comes down and learned a little bit about humans, and so the alien takes over a human body, but doesn't really know what, hasn't refined it yet. So he says, "Take me to hamburger. I want hamburger." And he's trying to learn to use the body and speak the language.
And like if he had 3 fingers, and then so he's moving the hand as if there's only 3 fingers.
And that's what we're like when we're changing personalities all the time. And by the environment, those personalities come and go.
Triggered?
Triggered by the environment. If there's danger, if there's love, if somebody's saying, "Wow, you are one amazing teacher, my friend. You are like, man, you got it nailed. These people are all applauding you, loving you for what you share." You see, and then that child
when it brings up that hubris.
I'm the star. And then it turns right around and said, then nobody shows up for your video or whatever, and now you feel devastated. But see, you don't feel devastated.
You don't.
That one does. The victim child is the victim of the judge saying, "You screwed it up," is devastated. And
each of their roles.
Yes.
So like the celebrity that was getting all proud, it's not that same one that then feels sad. It's the one that always feels sad. That's the one that comes up. There's a movie about these different emotions, like a Pixar movie or something, where they have each character. It's animated, right?
Is that Inside Out? That one?
Maybe.
Or there's a new one I think people tell me about called Coco.
I saw it.
Inside Out, they have a console and
there's all the marbles. I don't remember what it's called, but there's all these marbles, and each one is an emotion. It's like a memory, and then they have these characters, and each character is an emotion. And so that person is sad, and this one's angry, right? And so that's how they always are. That reminded me of these.
And that's it's made of it's the best reflection of what's going on inside of us, because we're all that. And every time we say, "I know I shouldn't, but I do, and I got to stop," and all that, that's different little inner child characters taking over and possessing us. I shouldn't drink too much. And so then
I should have more fun too. I should let loose.
And so that's the inner judge looking at the outside world and saying, here's how what we have to do to get our needs met from the outside world for love. Because we've never figured out how to get it like from our parents, because that was all conditional.
So we have to do manipulation to get it.
Yes. So what are we going to be? What are we going to do? Well, the judge looks out there and goes, they're judging you for how you dress. Well, and then he tells the little kid, you have to dress better, right? And so then the little kid gets scared and says, so if I don't dress better, then nobody's going to love me. Or I have to make good videos, or I have to write that book that I've been putting off, or I have to do whatever it is. But then there's fear. What if it fails? And so then procrastination and all these other, I'll just have a drink, I'll just, go outside, I'll
Oh yeah.
chase women, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And that soothes the child for a little bit, but then the judge is right there saying, no.
Yeah, and then you start feeling guilty for taking that time off, for relaxing, for procrastinating, right? And then you're like, oh.
But who is it that's feeling guilty? See, that's the important
Well, that's the victim child again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The victim child who really, with the core of the victim child, is the need for unconditional love. That's that emptiness that we all have from childhood.
Okay.
Because unconditional love is the food of a child. But all the love we get most of the love we get is conditional. Oh,
it's important to have a dog then, because they love unconditionally.
Yes, and better than kids, better than parents. Yeah. And it's a great experience to love unconditionally, no matter how it is. But we don't know how to do that except with an animal.
I saw kind of a funny video because it's like Steve-O found true love. Steve-O is one of the, in the Jackass movies, with Bam Margera and these other guys. There's these Jackass movies. They do Jackass stuff. That's like riding in a cart, like a shopping cart down a hill, and then hit something, or jump out of a pickup into a bush, right, with lots of clothes, padding and stuff. Or jump off a building, right,
That's
onto a pool, or like a pile of sand or something, right? Different stuff. Yeah. Also, the really funny one is chicken. Raw chicken in your jock strap, and go across a rope that goes over an alligator pit. So the alligators jump up to get the chicken, right? And then so you have to face your fear. Yeah.
Or
I think Steve-O might have done that. And I won't talk about some other ones because there's potty humor, right? But anyway, Steve-O found a dog, and he was trying to feed these street dogs. It might have been in Mexico. It could have been. Right, but he tried to, and it didn't work for quite a while. And then one wanted to be fed, and then that dog told other dogs that it was cool, and it brought a bunch of friends and stuff. Anyway, he adopted the dog and took care of it, and then they think they went camping together and stuff. He basically adopted the dog, but then he had love.
Yeah. That's a lot of people do that with animals or with children. I mean, children, little infants know how to love us unconditionally. See,
all right.
We look into a little baby's eyes, and there's nothing coming out of those eyes but pure unconditional love. They're not going, where'd you get the outfit? Or God, bad hair day. They're just
love.
They're channels for the love that this universe is.
Right. Yeah.
And when they look away, and we're feeding on this channel of love, and when they look away, we go blah, 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 try to get them back.
Oh, right.
Because we feed on that kind of love.
Oh, right.
And then the first thing we do is tell them they're bad and wrong and shouldn't have done what they did, and get out of here and don't bother me, and get out of the way of the TV kid, and don't get in the kitchen when I'm cooking, because
no, don't stop, and all that stuff.
And don't cry and don't laugh and everything's too loud, or you wipe that pouty face off or go to your room. And that's when the fear starts. And that flow of life's love coming out of us is destroyed, and we have to deal with whatever we have to deal with.
Hold on.
So anyway, that's the story and the cure for all this frantic searching for love and meeting conditions, because then we meet conditions in adult relationships.
Yeah, and it might not even show up as looking for love. It might be whatever you're looking for in life.
Approval,
because that thing will get you something, or you want this, and how will that make you feel? We're probably doing it to get something, and it all comes down to the same thing.
Yes, it all comes down to proving that we're good enough. So a strategy child might be the star, be the captain and everything, and if that doesn't work well enough, then there's another set of strategy kids that can pretend it's not happening. They just laugh it off and just carry on and don't worry about it. They just kind of deny that's happening. And then the next level is, I can't deny it anymore, so I have to numb it out. And that's what addictions are, is numbing out that fear that I'm not good enough and I can't figure out how to get it right. How to meet the conditions of a world that I need unconditional love for when I can't do that.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, David.
End of story.
All right. Well, we'll just do a wrap-up thing then. So thank you so much for your time. Might as well make it into one of the interviews, I guess. Then I don't have to work another week, right? It's one per week.
Yeah.
So
I'm happy to help.
Thank you. So
That's my story.
Where do people find out more about your work?
Oh, thank you. Joydancer.com. Joy Dancer. Where we're dancing in joy with life.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Just-
and you have that here.
I have the joy dancer. I'm wearing the joy dancer and
Mhm.
in the sunshine here, the gold
Yeah.
joy dancer.
I don't know if I can see it, but anyway,
Yeah, you
trying.
keep hitting it. Yeah.
And
Okay,
is
so-
there anything that you can give to our watchers, our listeners or viewers for
Uh-huh.
free as a gift?
Sure, I can.
All right.
If they subscribe to my newsletter, they'll get some really great audios and stuff. And right now, I can tell you that you can never be good enough
Oh,
by working hard and trying to prove you're good enough.
okay.
Or being more than you are. You can only be good enough when you accept that you're perfect exactly the way you are right now.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thanks for asking.